Hey there, Wayne here, and we're back with some more behind the curtain tips to professionalize your English. Now, in our last video, we talked about hyphens, N dashes, and M dashes. All these little marks that you often see in English, and they're punctuation. Each one of them has its own job. It does something. It changes the words around it in some way, or the numbers, because we also talked about showing a range of times, a range of dates, and other numbers. So we learned how to use those to make your English more professional and more attractive, particularly in copywriting for organizations where you have to make posters, social media, promotions, maybe press releases for PR, website copy, and things like that. You want that looking good. Um, and I think if you saw that video, you'll notice, wow, it really does look good when we use it correctly. And even the M dash gives you some way to make a surprising or more exciting content. So um, the words around uh, those dashes. Um, in this video, it's going to be quite short. I want to focus on um, the times, particularly, or the dates, the range. So we're going to be looking at the in dash, particularly, and the words around it, uh, how to use them correctly so it makes sense and again looks good to everybody who sees it. Let's share the screen. We'll call up my wonderful Word doc again, and I'll show you how to do what I'm talking about. So you get not only the theory, but the practice. Please feel free to make notes, especially if you have your own Word document in front of on your desktop in front of you, that would be great. Okay, let's take a look here then. All right, you might remember this from the last video. Here we are again with the hyphen, the in dash, and the M dash. Don't they look nice? Yep, short, long, longer. Okay. Uh, Now let's here. Okay. Let's go down here. I want to look at this in dash in particularly. So I'm going to copy it, scroll down here. Maybe we make a new page. We don't have to waste paper. It's all digital, right? Save the trees, save the world. Let's save ourselves problem of wasting time and money with terrible looking copy. Let's fix it up. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, got that pasted there for you. 5 to 7. Now, as you remember, the in dash shows a range. Okay. Here's the other meaning of it, to add like a tagline to a name or something, but I'm not going to be talking about that this time. Okay. Just the range. And you remember how we create that. Make the number that we want. Okay. Make a space, hyphen 2 times, and the other number, space. Okay. And bingo, it transforms our double hyphen into the in dash. At this point, you can quickly go back and add a space here. We like this spaced out kind of appearance for social media. It's spaced out. Of course, the technically more correct way is like this, and that doesn't really look bad if you have like the times in here or something. Okay. Now, in a later video, I'll focus on AM, PM, and how we use that, and what the options are which are correct or not correct, or which ones look good in different contexts. Okay. We'll talk all about time. But in this case here, uh, I want to talk about the words outside the time. Okay. So in posters, in promotions, we always have to, well, we often have to Put words around the times. Now, not always, it's fine sometimes just to have the times. Okay, the dinner or something is 5 to 7 p.m. No problem. Um, but if in a situation, a sentence or part of a sentence where you need to have some words around it, okay, such as the dinner is served 5 to 7 p.m., early dinner, um, we're going to have some words. Now, here's the mistake I see a lot. What do we got here? Oh. Well, we don't need that right now. Okay. Let's see here. So dinner is served. Now, here's the mistake, as I said, here's the mistake I see all the time from oops, change the language. There we go. Space, double hyphen, and 7 p.m. Okay, good. I'll put the space in here. Okay. Now, again, you don't need these spaces here. It's purely aesthetic. Okay. And as I mentioned in our last video, this is a branding decision you have to make. If you want the spaces, that's great. Be consistent. If you don't want them, that's great. Be consistent. Okay. The last thing you want is like, a couple of promotions or something side by side a couple of times and different style spacing and no spacing. It's going to look terrible. So we want things consistent and attractive. Uh, dinner served from 5. Now, this is a mistake I see a lot because this doesn't really make sense. It's served from this range. It's like I need another range over here. It really doesn't make any sense at all. So when you use this in dash, the word you want here is during. Okay, that's going to be fine. That's going to be formal. All right. If you need less formal, maybe shorter and more casual, you don't need to put anything. Okay. All right. That's fine. So more formal, this is the word you want. If you don't like this and you don't want to use the dash, you want to use something even more formal, then we do use the words. Okay. Dinner is served from. Yeah. Okay. And the point here is that from needs to. Okay. You can't say from and then a range. It's like that's when it's starting, and then I need two and another range. Like the only way that this works is something like this. And you'd need like another range there. I don't know what that's going to be, you know. Um, okay, now this doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, well, I mean, I don't know. You might have something that's, I work from 5 to 7. Uh, it's completely confusing. From 5 to 7 to okay, it's completely like the starting time is not clear, the ending time is not clear. This doesn't make any sense. I don't think you'll ever use that. Um, it would be possible maybe to do this, like, okay, so it's served in 2 rounds. In that case would work. We'd use and. Okay, this is possible. Some people work like a shift. Maybe they work a shift, from this time and that time. Okay, this would be possible. A restaurant time opening, for breakfast and afternoon and maybe dinner, different ranges. That would be possible too, but we wouldn't do that. We would just say, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and each one would have their own range, right? We would say.
Dinner is served during 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. AI voice. That was an accident. I didn't mean to bring you into this conversation. You would say breakfast. And probably if you're listing them like that, you wouldn't use these words at all. You would just say breakfast, or breakfast, or just nothing on a poster or something. And breakfast, of course, is going to be AM and PM, AM to AM or something like that. That's a pretty early, very short breakfast. Maybe that's what you do when you're grabbing a bite before you run off to the office. Hey, always have a healthy and nutritious, that's the word, breakfast, okay? But you don't always need to get it right away. Wake up, do a few things, exercise, wait until you're ready for it. Okay, that's a health tip for you. Hey, valuable in your personal life. Okay, so this is how we do this. Let me just recap here. For this en dash, we're showing a range of times. It could be a range of dates. It could be a range of any numbers, okay? Any numbers at all. If you want to use it, use the word during, okay? If you want to be more informal, don't use anything. Okay, here we have formal and more informal. Okay. If it's going to be very brief, like in a poster or something, then you probably don't need to put anything, okay, at all. Okay. Uh, okay, just like that. Now, again, I've talked about these spaces here, if you want them or not. Could be like that. Okay. If you want to use the words, this is going to be more formal, okay, more formal than the top one here. Then you use from, I'm sorry, then you use from and to, like this. Okay, this one you're probably not going to be using. I'm going to take that out. Okay. Some people ask me about the word between. Uh, that one is going to be used like this technically, but I don't use it. I don't really recommend it because it's confusing. And this one you have to use and. Okay, don't use your in dash for here either. Okay. And this is a little confusing. I don't really like it because, yeah, it does mean the same thing. We can understand it, but I avoid it because, first of all, it's longer. Okay, so that might make it more difficult to read in social media or on your screen. People tend to like shorter words. It does have a more formal touch to it sometimes, not really any less than this. There's nothing wrong with it, except that it's a little bit confusing because if you have a wide range here, or if it's dates, okay, especially, let me show you, it may not be clear to people. Something like this here. Okay, this is the international or European style with the date before the month. We don't have to do that. We can put it in the American style and put that before. Either way, put the month before the date. Either way, this is what's going on here. And I don't really recommend it because some people might get confused. It might mean what's between. Does that mean it starts on the 11th and ends on the 16th? Like it's got to be between these? Now, Not everyone will be confused by that, but there'll always be some margin of people that won't. I've learned in all my years managing people that you should never really assume that everyone understands. Okay, oh, they'll get this. You think anybody would know that? Hey, anyone can figure that out. But in fact, there's always going to be at least one person in your meeting or a margin of people who don't get it. Now, this is not because, they don't think as well as you or something like that. Two people can have the same goals. They can have the same mission, but they just come at it from different directions. People think in different ways. All right. We are different individuals. That's natural. So I try to avoid things that could be confusing to some people. Of course, if you're only looking for the kind of people that would get that, by all means, go for it. It does have a nice formal appearance as well. Okay, so there we are on the in dash. I hope that sums it up for you, and you can begin using that more correctly with some words around it. In later videos, we'll talk about time and some more things about punctuation to help your copy writing look more professional. And later on, we'll get into some speaking things too. Thank you very much, and have a great day once again. Have a lot of them. Thank you.